Here's a song I learned from my old buddy Darrell Adams, who came from Oregon. He was a cowboy and a logger. He worked up in the woods there in Oregon. I'd gone out to California in a Buick with Woody Guthrie and Brew Moore and Billy Fair. Brew played tenor sax. He played bebop. He didn't get along with Woody at all. They didn't see eye to eye about anything. They didn't even speak to each other for 4 days. Billy played five-string banjo. He hogged the wheel. He drove all the way 4 days from the East Coast to the West Coast. Woody was buying some land there in Topanga Canyon. I ended up in a theater in Topanga Canyon there, Will Geer's Theater. And I kept hearing stories about this Darrell Adams who lived in a cave. And finally I got to meet him. It was almost the end of the season when Darrell finally showed up one night, and he was standing there up against a tree. He didn't have a banjo, but I recognized him. I walked right up to him and I said, "You're Darrell Adams." And he said, "Yep." And I said, "You got your banjo with you?" And he says, "Nope." Gee. I said, "Bess has a banjo. Bess Hawes, would you play on her banjo?" "Don't see why not." And I could tell by our conversation that we were going to be friends for life. And we were. And Darrell had, been a cowboy and a logger up there in the woods in Oregon and played the banjo, and he'd studied art in Reed College. He'd done a lot of different things, drove a truck, and he had been a choker setter and windfall bucker up in the windfall bucker up in the woods there, up in Oregon, and he knew a lot of things that I'd never known about. He played this old song called The Cuckoo. I ended up taking him over to Europe with me. That's another story. I'll tell you about that later. Well, the cuckoo is a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies, but you never says cuckoo till the 5th day of July. Well, I gambled in England, and I've gambled in Spain. If I ever gamble, I will win your next game. Oh, Willie, I'm afraid of your ways. Your mind is gambling, gonna lead me astray. Well, build me a cabin in a mountain so high, so I can see Willie as she goes passing by. Oh, the cuckoo, a pretty bird, she warbles as she flies, but she never says cuckoo till the 5th day